I think my husband is cheating on me, but I don't know if I should just trust him. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 40M, for 8 years. Recently, however, I have been finding indicators that I thought meant he was cheating. Each time, however, they turn out to be nothing. Now the issue is I just got back from a business trip, and our bedsheet smells like the really expensive and extremely distinct perfume his coworker wears, and there was a stain on our bed that looks like a certain bodily fluid. This seems like definitive proof to me, but this isn't the first time I felt this way, and each time has ended with him yelling at me for not trusting him, then him ignoring me for a few days. Not that I don't understand why he does, we have been married so long, I should trust him, but I just don't know how to ignore this. I just don't want to mess up our marriage because of my unfounded suspicions. I am looking for some outside perspectives. Has anyone else been in a similar situation? Should I be able to trust him without asking, after being married so long? If this is a real post, don't do anything radical until you have definite proof and evidence. What evidence did you have in the past, and what did he tell you to explain it away? I'm wondering if he's just making excuses and turning it on you, but lying and you just don't trust yourself over what he says. Examples would help. Is there anything else that is throwing you off? Is he secretive with his phone? Is he texting more often? Is he irritable and withdrawn at home? Is there a lack of intimacy? If you share a phone plan, you can check his phone records. Ultimately, when did this distrust begin? Is it new? Cheating or not really isn't the issue. It'll tear you guys apart if you stay in a relationship without trust. You need to sit him down for a heart-to-heart and really connect. Give him a chance to open up and come clean if he needs to. If trust can't be restored, for whatever reason, you're dead in the water even if he didn't cheat. Hire Pi before you say anything. Someone commented about hiring a Pi. Fuck that, just do some investigative work yourself. Tell him you're going away for some business trip, keep an eye on the house and come back early if you see anything suspicious. Girlfriend wants to hang out one-on-one with ex. Girlfriend says it's purely platonic. She doesn't have a lot of friends and wanted to hang out with an ex. I don't think the guy's intent is platonic since he asked her to go with him to a party a little while ago, before that they barely talked. I told her I am fine with guy friends but draw the line at exes. However, there are exceptions, see EDDIT2 at the bottom, since it's like keeping doors open. I made sure to not be angry and judgmental but firm and confident. Have I handled this correctly? Do you think girls, boys should be able to hang out with exes one-on-one? Thanks in advance. Edit. She acknowledged and respected the boundary I placed. Edit 2. She is friends with another ex. This guy she has been friends with forever, and I have no problem with this. After their breakup nothing happened as far as I know. He is a good guy and has a girlfriend himself. The guy the first talked apt previously in the post kinda popped out of nowhere and is single. I think you did the right thing by being firm about this. Maybe she legit is lonely, and maybe she legit thinks this would be platonic. But he's already made his intentions clear. If he's not willing to hang out with the both of you, then how much of a platonic friend can he really be? I see this as a red flag. Calling to a party out of nowhere and one-on-one hanging out seems like there is unfinished business between the two. The business you are not a part of. I would break up. Have I handled this correctly? Yes. Being low on friends is not an excuse to hang out with your ex. There's rare cases where this would be okay, but I don't think this is one of them. Maybe it's just me, but the only reason I would want to hang out with an ex is to potentially hook up, while still being single. I couldn't imagine doing that when I had a girlfriend who now is my wife. What is the actual point? I have moved on and don't want to invite that kind of drama in what I have going on. Even when I had little to no friends at the new city I moved to, I didn't entertain the idea. I just tried looking for new friends. I think exes is a no-go, so you did a good choice. Hanging out with exes is always hurting someone. My ex-spouse has stayed my best friend ever since we split up many years ago. I get that some people are not okay with it, and I get that some people say things with their ex are platonic, but they aren't. However, for me this friendship is precious and I'd rather keep looking for a new partner who is okay with it than lose this friendship. In your case though, it is suspicious because it doesn't look like they are actually friends, as they barely talked. So in this case you would not be compromising an existing friendship, so a boundary seems more appropriate. I don't think I want to live with my girlfriend anymore. I, M23, have been with this girl, F23, for almost 4 years. We met in college and started dating our second year. Since then, we have done pretty much everything together. When we graduated, she really wanted to get an apartment together even though I was really planning on going back to my parents to save money and help them too. She basically told me that if we didn't live together, we'd break up. I really didn't want to break up because I truly loved her, so I caved. This year living together has been really nice for the two of us. Obviously we have our issues and things, but mostly good things. However, I still feel like I want to go back and live with my parents. I feel like I've missed so much by not living at home, including a lot of my niece's first year and other family things. And my parents are getting older, so I really want to be able to lighten their load, after all they've done for me. It's only been a year that I got out of college, and if I lived at home, I wouldn't be worrying about money as much as I am now. While in college, I was always just scraping by, so it would be nice to not have to worry for once. But I also feel like I'm missing a ton of independence because of the relationship in general. I don't have time to do the things I love to do because she is always requiring my attention. And that's another reason why I always feel like I'm missing out on family things. She doesn't like to visit my family even though it's really important to me. IDK what to do. Edit. Thank you for all the responses. I'm trying to read through as many as I can to see how I should approach the conversation with her. I'm also seeing a lot of comments saying that I'm being too dependent on my parents and that I'm not trying to adult, or something along those lines. But I have no issues adulting. I would just like to be more financially stable. Is that so bad? And I don't think I would lose any of my adult privileges, responsibilities by living with my parents. I am Mexican and I know it isn't the case for every family, but it is very common for young adults to stay with their parents until they marry and also to help with finances, after all they did for them. This feeling of responsibility and debt is only part of the reason I made this post. But the cultural aspect is the reason I don't see anything wrong with going back. Too long did not read. I want to move back in with my parents because my girlfriend is needy and I want to save money and help them with bills. Sounds kind of like you want to break up, not just move out. It sounds like you're in a very different stage of life than her. At her age, I would also have been upset if my boyfriend of 4 years wanted to live with his parents. I would have broken up with him if he insisted. And there's nothing wrong with that, if your lives aren't fitting together. Just saying, but I never heard anyone say they wanted to live with their parents after college. I think if you would rather live with your parents than your girlfriend, it says everything you ever need to know about your relationship. Just break up with her, dude. You know you want to. If this is what you truly want, then let her go and move back home. I would note though, moving back in with parents is not usually a gain independence move. Ultimatums aside, does anyone else find it kinda weird that he wants to live with his parents instead of his girlfriend of 4 years? Especially after college. If I was the girlfriend, I would fear that I'm just a placeholder. GF. 22F. Probably should not have danced with some guy. So I went to a club with friends and at some point my friend drunkenly brought a guy over to me and left. I was a little baffled, but I felt bad turning the guy away. I laughed and told him I had a boyfriend but we could still dance. The song was a Hispanic pop song. We danced for one song, about more than a foot of spaces between us, and the only thing that touched was our hands. And then I left. When my boyfriend showed up, after his work, I begged him to join me, but he insisted this wasn't his scene and took me home. Later I'm telling him how my day went and he said I totally screwed up and crossed a boundary by dancing with the guy. He was very upset. I told him I understood his concern, but we weren't grinding or anything and it wasn't an intimate song or anything. It was pretty platonic and I think I'm allowed to dance with people as long as it's not inappropriate. He says I should only dance with him or alone and he doesn't even want to go. So I should only dance alone, not even with my friends. He says I should have turned the guy away. I agreed to do that from now on. But did I really screw up? I just agreed to keep the peace and respect his boundaries, but I don't see it. Well, you did screw up to him. It's something that makes him feel uncomfortable, and now you know. If you want to continue pursuing the relationship, then it's good you found out where his boundaries lay and you can act accordingly. If you find his boundaries too restrictive, but still want to be with him, then bring that up with him and have an honest talk about it and try to reassure him. Maybe even offer to bring him along next time. He'll most likely accept now that he thinks you messed up, and you can use the opportunity to both reassure him and get closer as you have fun together. If you think simply he's too controlling, then think about whether or not you want to break up with him over this and act as you see fit. I think dancing is fine as long as you're leaving enough room for Jesus and not doing any sexy dance moves, etc. But did I really screw up? According to him you did. And now he's told you his personal boundary with this issue and you said you've agreed to abide by it from now. So what's the problem? I believe your BF's boundary is acceptable except for the not dancing with friends. In my opinion it's a tad controlling. If this were a thing all Latin America would be divorced. Tears of joy. Fun fact. I can't believe what people are telling you. It sounds like you came here to see if what he's doing is controlling. I go social dancing at least once a month and everyone dances with everyone. Dancing is just dancing. It's fun to move your body. I don't know what Amish backwater everyone else here is from or how they got internet. But you did nothing wrong, and I think your boyfriend is going to come up with another rule whenever he feels like it until you can't leave the house or have a bank account. He's not for you, you're not for him.